Alrighty, fellas, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are we doing today? It is a beautiful day outside, nice and sunny, which means it's a perfect day to sit inside and play some PokeMMO. Today, I'm mostly going to be doing raid preparations. I might hop on an alt account and do some story. I should hop on an alt account and do some storyline runs, dude. I hate storylines. I put them off. I don't do them enough. I am going to be doing some XP training today as well and actually testing some stuff I've never used. So I like XP charms a lot. And I always talk about XP charms. People always say how good lucky eggs are as well. And sometimes lucky eggs can cost much less Pokeyen. So let's go check actually, for example. Obviously, half lucky eggs only last for half an hour. So that's like the big difference there. But like large or normal size lucky eggs are 53k Pokeyen, while XP charms are 70k. So if it's 20k cheaper and they're the same effect, that's really you should buy lucky eggs. But I don't know if that's true. I feel like lucky eggs, it's either number one, lucky eggs are super underpriced because people don't know about them, like myself even, or number two, they aren't as good and that's why they're underpriced. I'm going to go ahead and just test it live right now, fellas. Let's just jump into it. I want to pop an XP charm 100%, and you should be able to pop a lucky egg on top, I believe. No, you can't. Okay, well, okay. Probably should have popped that first. I guess now we're in an XP charm for an hour. We'll test the lucky egg after the hour, I guess. Oops. Can't lucky egg stack on charms? That's what I thought. Maybe small ones, but not large ones? Well, once again, here, let me test that. You know what? Let's try to activate a small one really quick. Let's try to pop a lucky egg small and see if that pops on top, because that would be no. People always told me. Is it just misinformation, or do people just not know and then it just I don't know. Yeah, you can't. I thought you could pop on top of as well. People always told me that in Twitch chat, but I guess that's Twitch chat. Yeah, I'm going to switch locations on the alt because Frillish keeps baiting people into thinking it's a shiny. So this is 5 female Frillishes and then 1 male in the battle, and that looks like a shiny, doesn't it? And it's really easy to think that when it's that far away. So I'm going to switch up locations. I'm actually going to head to a location, a very niche, very special, I'm going for a locational shiny hunt, guys. I'm going to switch over to single encounters on the alt account, and I'm going to switch over to Altar and Cave. I actually like Altar and Cave, for those who don't know, is an old mechanic in PokeMMO, and it's not really used nowadays for like any real benefits. I think it might be used for some super niche things, but like not really. Altar and Cave is a spot that's all the way on the back of 6 Island, and it's a cave that every 6 hours the spawns rotate. And Altar and Cave used to be a important, crucial mechanic in PokeMMO, where you would go there to catch a bunch of Gen 2 Pokemon and Gen 3. It's where you would catch Beldums and Bagons back in the day. It was the only location. But nowadays, it's kind of a relic of the past, but I have a lot of nostalgia for it. It is a long-running PokeMMO dream of mine to have an Altar and Cave shiny. So I'm going to go Shunt there, even if it's just a Zubat or whatever it may be. I really, really want an Altar and Cave location shiny, and that's just a personal little shunt that's cool to me. I think it's what shunting is all about, is like going for specific shinies that are meaningful to you. Someone said, how's your day, Patrouski? My day's pretty good. Hopefully your day as well. What I've been doing all morning, I woke up at like 9 a.m. And what I did from 9 a.m. until 11:40, I hopped in the shower at 11:40 to quickly get ready for stream. But from 9 a.m. to 11:40, all I did was I recorded 1 video, and I'm only 30% done. And I've also spent months, maybe a month or two, scripting this video. And I've spent the 2 or 3 hours this morning recording, and I'm 30%. It's a big project. There's a big project coming, fellas, related to money making in PokeMMO. I'm very excited for it. I hope it's helpful to some players, but it's going to take a while to get out for sure. Yeah, you're almost back to 30,000 encounters. That was fast. The power of times 5 hordes are amazing. They're so insane. I almost forgot to show off the Pokemon that I'm XP training. So right now I'm working on the Reuniclus that I EV trained in a recent XP trained some in a recent stream recap. We've got our Sableye. I think all of these today started at around level 68. I mostly want to get them above level 80. So I've currently got 71, 71, 72, 71. So they're all decently high level, but I definitely want minimum of level 80. And having that is super important, because raids are most likely, there's even gonna be level 100 raids. I probably should be leveling more of my Pokemon to level 100, because there are going to be level 100 raids for sure. Hey Pat, did you notice that ability patch grass isn't worth as much anymore? Yeah, of course. Absolutely. I said as soon as those came out into the game, I was like, okay, well, this is something that's just going to go down in price for the history of time, right? There is just going to continue to be more and more supply and less demand. Like, this is an item, as soon as these were released, everybody knew this is an item that will just go down in value. That's just how it works. That's totally okay. So hidden ability grass patches were like 1 to 2 mil when they were released, right? And now they're as time has gone on, more people have completed Pokedex. The more Pokedexes that get complete, even on alt accounts and new players, the more ability patches come to the game. It just totally makes sense. It just totally makes sense. Ability patch grasses are specifically, they're the best ones. They're used to give Snivy or superior contrary, which is super, super good. What do you think about Undella Bay payday / thiefing with an item magnet charm? I've never had good success there. I'm gonna be honest. I've never made more than like 60 to 80k an hour there, but a lot of people swear by it. A lot of people say it's a really good spot. So if there's that many people that swear by it, then maybe it is good. But I've never had very good success there. If you're a beginner or intermediate player, I would definitely check it out. If you're a veteran, I don't know if it's really worth your time. How much of each particular raid Pokemon do you recommend to breed / train? Notice that you have 2 of each at the moment. You don't need 2 of each, and I honestly wouldn't recommend. I would recommend just 1 of each, to be totally honest, because there is species clause with raids. You cannot enter a raid with like 2 Sableyes, for examples. You can't enter a raid with 2 Reunicluses. I like having different variants for different raids. So I think, for example, yeah, one of these Sableyes is physical defense and 1 is special defense. That's kind of overkill though. You probably don't need this. Like, this is, I do a lot of advanced preparation, right? And then on top of that, I like to have ones to sell off during the actual raids itself. So I'm kind of going overkill. I would recommend to the average player to just prepare one of each Pokemon you might want to use for raids and get them all. Like, prepare like, I'd prepare 6 to 10 Pokemon personally, at least 3, Reuniclus, Metagross, Sableye. And once again, we don't even know if these strats will work. Someone made a comment yesterday that was like, I'm not going to prepare anything because I don't know if these strats will work, and we don't know for sure. These are just strats that work during the beta test. They might not work during permanent raids. Now, I'd rather prepare something, because if you have nothing prepared and these strats do work, I think there's a decent chance they'll work personally. Like I would say 80% chance these strats work pretty well. But it's not, it's not 100%. And I could be wrong with that 80%, right? Just a guesstimate on my end. But yeah, you could be preparing these for nothing, but then worst case scenario, you just sell them off during the event, or you sell them off as comms for profit. I'd rather prepare and have something, because like missing out, the problem is missing out on like day 1 of raids, or missing out on those first 3 raids or first like 3 days is brutal. If you miss out on the first few hours of an event, you're losing so much potential profit, right? During events, now raid release isn't really an event release, but it's kind of similar, right? Now, I bet it will be in terms of profit. The first couple raids will make you the most amount of Pokeyen, and then it'll kind of go down from there and become more stable, right? During an event, I will often make 600k, 1.2 mil. I think during the anniversary event, I made 1.8 mil Pokeyen in the first like hour and a half. Right? You make the most amount of Pokeyen in the first couple hours, and then it kind of tapers off to around 300k or something like that, right? So being prepared for that stuff is so powerful. People use the daycare in PokeMMO ? Yeah, someone just asked me, do I have any Pokemon in the daycare? So I'm gaining a shit ton of XP right now, right? By XP Training, I probably should go put a Pokemon in the daycare. Actually, if someone tells me where is the daycare in Johto, I'll go do. I always forget, but I'll go do that. I haven't learned this one's location. You earn XP on your Pokemon in the daycare based on how much XP you gain in the overworld in that region. It's in Goldenrod City. Someone said Cherry Grove, Goldenrod. It is really, really good to put Pokemon, if you're going to be XP training in that region, to put them in the daycare. South of Goldenrod. Let's go check it out. Yeah, when you put Pokemon in the daycare, you will like learn more moves or whatever. You can overwrite certain moves you want, but my Reuniclus are so high level, he's not learning any more moves, so I might as well just go ahead and put him in the thing, right? So south of Goldenrod, someone said. So this guy breeds Pokemon, but you can go ahead, walk in here, talk to this lady. Can she raise multiple? Can she raise 2? Yeah. So I'm going to give her, this will be a good test. I'm going to give her both of my Reunicluses, go grab more Pokemon to XP train, and then just go XP train those Mons. And then by the end of the stream, we can see how much XP they've gained. Good morning, Pat. I got a Muna 0 phases yesterday to break my 89k dry streak. Dude, Young Cabbage, congrats. Muna is a criminally underrated shiny. Fantastic. Super good shiny. And there it is, fellas. The shiny Muna from Young Cabbage. It's so good. Let me finish this battle. I've always said that if PokeMMO changed PvP rewards and added worthwhile incentives to play PvP, not only would more people PvP, but it would help the economy all around. Yeah, absolutely. Queue times would be better too. Even if you're not a PvP fan, right? Like, having PvP be properly balanced and have PvP have good rewards is better for everybody, because then it makes those multiple 31s and 1x31 and good IV Pokemon more desirable to those PvP players. Therefore, things become better Pokeyen per hour. And therefore, it helps money farmers and grinders, and then it also gets more people into PvP. It is just a win-win-win-win-win. Absolutely, it is a win-win-win-win-win. I actually have a video coming out talking about how bad PvP rewards are. Specifically, like, there's a certain thing that should just be hot fixed. Like, it is kind of unacceptable in my opinion. But we'll see what happens with that. Okay, that's the end of that XP charm. I want to pop a lucky egg and see if it's the same exact effect, or like what. If it's 30 minutes, then it's probably not worth it. But I want to see how this works. Let's pop it. Let's see what it shows. 60 minutes, 100%. Yeah. Okay. So lucky egg is the exact same thing, the exact same effect as a 100% XP charm. I've heard different things. I've heard varying things, but it is the exact same. Good to know. Okay. So if you want XP charms or lucky eggs or whatever, and you see that lucky eggs are that much cheaper, what you should actually be doing is buying lucky eggs. If they're that much cheaper, like, I'm going to go ahead and buy these up, honestly, because I want some. I'm a big XP item fan. I think that they're going to increase in value. I've been saying forever. I've been making my own investments. This is my personal opinion and my own personal thoughts. Make any investments that you want to make at your own risk. But I think that lucky eggs, I think XP items in general will go up when raids release. I think people need a lot. We'll need a lot of them. 45 mil. You know what? I'm gonna do something that I've never done on stream. Ever before. I wish I could see this better. Let me actually just go to the PC really quick. Firstly, let's claim all these. Well, actually, let's do this first. I want to do something that I've never done on stream. Maybe something that I've never done in PokeMMO ever. I want to essentially buy up the Lucky Egg market. I don't know. I'm that confident in this investment. I'm willing to spend a lot of my Pokeyen here. I feel like they will go up. I feel like they're hard to get. I feel like they operate the same. Yeah, that's all of them. There are no more Lucky Eggs on the GTL. It's perfect. It's beautiful. How much are XP charm? 50%. Now, these are cheaper than Lucky Egg Smalls, right? And these are only 50% for 30 minutes. That's kind of funny, but there we go. That is all Lucky Eggs. All Lucky Eggs on the market are now in my hands. Feel free to line. Okay, selling for 200k. Feel free to line up. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna hold these until raids drop, and I think that they'll be a good investment. But I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong. So we'll have to see what happens. Don't you find it a bit weird that no one's hit Shiny Shaymin after 2 events? Surely more than 300,000 people have encountered it. I don't know if more than 300,000 people have encountered it. If we had to guesstimate, now I'm sure more than 300,000 players have played PokeMMO during those events, those 2 events, but I don't think so. Maybe you meant 30k. We're probably over 30k encounters, probably, but it's a long grind, right? Like, the problem is you had to have, like, it wasn't just PokeMMO players that were doing the Shaymin grind. It was a 16-hour grind to do the Shaymin, right? Not everybody wanted to do that. Most players don't, right? How many, like, you have to ask yourself, how many players in the PokeMMO community, number 1, are playing at that time, number 1, are willing to do a 16-hour grind, and then number 3, have the time to do a 16-hour grind, right? I don't know. Yeah, at least 16 hours. I don't know how many people that is, right? I think I guesstimated year 1 that around 10 to 15,000. This is total guesstimations based on my understanding and years in the game. I would guesstimate that around 10 to 15,000 players did the Shaymin encounter event 1. And then event 2, I would bet it's around the same, maybe 10 to 20k. There's a lot more players actually next year. Maybe even, it wouldn't surprise me if it wouldn't surprise me if the PokeMMO community as a whole is over 30,000 encounters dry on Shaymin. But that's also just shiny. It's not that, it can go, we could go way drier. But it wouldn't surprise me if we're sitting at around 40 to 50k dry. I really thought we would see a Shiny Shaymin last event. I feel like we've got to see one next Lunar New Year event, right, guys? Everybody, next Lunar New Year event, do the Shaymin grind, get your Shaymin encounter. Shaymin is the only shiny in PokeMMO that doesn't exist. Like, it is the only shiny Pokemon that can be shiny that one does not exist that we know of. So if you were to get that, you would be a legend. Don't legendaries have a less chance of being shiny? Like they're easier to see shiny? Yes, it was confirmed by the devs that the rotational legendaries are. We don't know for Shaymin. For Shaymin, we don't know. But it was confirmed by the devs a while ago that the rotational legendaries like Suicune, Raikou, whatever, they do have an increased shiny rate, which is, we don't know what it is, but it's slightly increased. I shouldn't say slightly because we don't know. So let me we don't. It's a slight, or it is an increased shiny rate. Legendaries are easier to get shiny than they're not 1 out of 30k rate is what I'll say. Anyone know where I can get an Everstone, trading a Meowth, the money farm? I always tell people, dude, remember that PokeMMO is an MMO, right? You don't need to go get every item in game like you would in traditional Pokemon. Everstones are 6,000 Pokeyen. I would just buy one on the GTL. Now, if you're playing some self-sufficient account or Ironman account and you do have to go get one for yourself, you get them from Geodudes and like other like mineral type Pokemon have a chance. Geodudes especially have a chance of holding Everstone, so you go farm Geodudes for that. But I would just remember, it's an MMO. Abuse the fact that it's, unless you're playing a self-sufficient account, you should abuse the fact that it's an MMO and make sure that you always just use the GTL, just buy stuff. Usually making Pokeyen and then buying something is always going to be more efficient and effective than, like, if it takes you 1 hour to get an XP share or some shit, like, you can make 300,000 Pokeyen per hour as a pretty new player in PokeMMO, right? Why would you go spend, like, tens or whatever's of hours trying to get an XP share from like a Professor Oak's 8? You just buy one for 42k. It's just make the Pokeyen and buy it. Now, it's not always as fun. So if it's more fun for you to go do that thing, then sure, more power to you. But just know all your options. Make an informed decision. Is there a reason why the developers are keeping the rate of encountering legendary Pokemon a secret / their shiny rates? Yes, it is for rebalancing purposes. Like, the reason they're doing it is so they can, because like they are still kind of new. Now, in my opinion, I think after 3 to 6 months, after like 1 or 2 rotations of legendaries, I was hoping they'd release those to the public. I think that'd be fair, but they've always been kind of on the better safe than sorry side. As a player, I would love to know those rates. It would be helpful and beneficial to like tell that to new players and be able to pass on that information. You know, wink, wink, devs, please give us rates for, I would love to see it. But at the end of the day, like, if it helps them balance it and rebalance in the background, like, the whole point is that, like, they've probably been changing the legendary rates. Now, they have told us that the rate is somewhere between 1 out of 1k and 1 out of 8k, right? But they probably have been changing it at different times in the background to see how many legendaries are coming into the game, how many are getting consumed, like all these things to sort of help the economy or whatever, right? To keep that in check, because things coming in and things going out of the game is a really important thing to keep in mind. And there's not that many, like, I'm trying to think I don't think legendaries leave the game. I've been saying for a while, we need a legendary sync. And maybe they're working on something like that. That's why they need to keep that hidden. Like, maybe they're waiting, keeping it hidden until they add a legendary sync, and then they can actually release that information. It'll be more set in stone. I would love to see a legendary sync added. A legendary sync would be something that consumes the legendary Pokemon for some sort of benefit, which would help the economy, help bring them out of the, help legendaries sustain a price, because otherwise legendaries are just going to go down and down in price forever. However, no, okay, Zapdos are 1.8 mil. They're very, very high demand, but like Suicunes, what's a shitty legendary? Moltres, 400k, Articuno, 250k. We could actually flip this. You know what? Fuck it. I haven't flipped a legendary ever. But it's like a 100k flip. I'm down for that. Whoever brought up the legendary discussion, thank you for the freest 100k flip of my entire life. I'll do 3499. I bought it for 250. Easy peasy. And it sold. Bam. Boom. Just that easy, fellas. Yeah, it's just that easy. Easy as Pokeyen. Yeah, new money making guide coming soon, guys. Flipping, what is that? That took 1 minute. So 1 minute times 60. Oh my goodness, guys. You can make, what is that? 6 million Pokeyen per hour with this new hack. No, just memeing. Fuck that. Yeah, that's obviously not a consistent thing, but you can find, like, you should check legendaries for flips, in my opinion. I just noticed that some guy ruined the deep scale market by listing 300 plus of them at a really cheap rate. They were selling for 20K and now they're selling for 14K. It's possible that one person messed it up, but usually it's a collective. Why can I not deep the scale? There we go. Yeah, don't be this guy. Like, don't ever be this person. It's just never worth it. There's never a reason to like undercut that much. If these were selling for 20K and they were actively like, if you have 346 of them, just slowly list, like, if you list 346 for 20K and they don't all sell, you lose a lot of listing fee. I get that, but just list a couple. When you have a huge stack of any item, you probably just, well, firstly, you just shouldn't be listing an item, this many items at once. You just shouldn't do this. You'll just lose money. You should be listing like 50 at a time or 20 at a time or whatever. Like, just list them out and slowly sell them. You should never be listing this many. It fucks everybody else. It fucks yourself. There's just no reason for it. Besides, if you just don't care about the market, don't care about how much money you make, just don't care about anything. But like, just be patient, sell a couple, sell 20 to 50, list them out here and there. I would just strongly recommend that. Yeah, honestly, okay, someone said Dittos were expensive, and I checked it. I was like, oh, are they really? Like, I just saw them at 4K and 4,200, whatever, this morning. No, them all being bought out to 4,500 to, like, there's only a few, like, 4,900. This is really high. Wow, Ditto farming is probably 300K plus per hour profit, honestly, with this base price. That's wild. I don't know if this will last, but that's pretty crazy. That's wild. 4,900 is a pretty ridiculously high base price for Dittos. That's pretty nuts. Okay, I'm about to drop the nuclear take, guys. The food take of the day. If I order a pizza at a restaurant and someone brings over... Okay, why is it not ready? Come on, god damn it. Stalling for content. One sec. Yada, yada, yada. Pizza take. Food. Very molten lava hot. If I order a pizza at a restaurant and someone brings over this boring, bland, fucking shitty, I don't care if it's cheese made from golden cows, this bland, boring ass, trash ass shit on a plate, I will actually fall asleep out of boredom on my taste buds. I will leave the restaurant. I will projectile vomit among the fucking streets, and I will actually leave a negative review. This is the most boring, flavorless pizza, flavorless food. This is kids' food as a pizza. If you only, nothing wrong with chicken nuggets, but if you only eat chicken nuggets and dino nugs and tater tots, which I love, only, like, this is what, like, I cannot stand a boring, cheese, shitty whatever pizza. I don't care if you take golden cows and produce the finest fucking 30-year cheese in the land. If you take fucking grain that has been grown on top of Mount Everest and it's so strong that it survives those winds and that amount of snow. No matter what, if you just put cheese, tomato, and bread in front, it's so boring. It is so boring. I don't know what to tell you. I'd rather have a barbecue chicken pizza, a chicken bacon ranch, some fucking crispy red onions, some caramelized onions. There are so many incredible, great things. Meat lovers, bake, everything. There's so much to do on a pizza. Apple, hot honey, pineapple. If you don't like pineapple, I get it. That's not for everybody. I'm not going to stand strong on that take, but like, there are so many cool things you can do. Is the Voltorb minigame worth it in your opinion? Yes or no? As someone who owns this wretched, horrible hat, save yourself. Save your sanity. Don't do it. I always said, this 2-hour grind, doing this 2-hour grind on stream was the most painful thing I've ever done in PokeMMO. Worse than the 17 months going for Cranidos. Worse than Shuttle. Worse than 1 mil Pokeyen in 1 day. Worse than anything. This was the worst thing I've ever done. it was the maldest I've ever been on stream was getting this hat. But it also got you the best clip of your channel. Yeah, my most viewed clip is me fucking playing this game. Here, not just a food take of the day, but I'll show my absolute pizza knowledge. Did you guys know that Pizza Hut actually invented stuffed crust? Pizza Hut invented stuffed crust because in like the 70s or the 80s, it reached a point where like it was like cheese was cheaper than bread or some weird thing. I have to no, okay, fact check this. I don't know for sure. But like they had all this leftover cheese and it was cheaper. They didn't know what to do with it. So they just put it in the crust and people loved it. So like Pizza Hut just accidentally invented stuffed crust because they were trying to like cut corners and save money. All right, that is the end of our second XP charm. What's our levels looking like? 95, 95, 98, 90. Okay. I'm pretty happy with that. That is actually okay. We got some of the fellas almost level 100. I can at least worst case scenario, I can like rare candy those if I need those. So I'm gonna keep those at those levels for the time being. Yeah, should I go check the Reuniclus now? We can go do that. Goldenrod south of Goldenrod City. Let's see how much XP your levels gain. I'm gonna guess it only gains like 10 or 20% of what you get in the overworld. I put it in at level 75. I'm gonna guess that it's only like level 78, something like that. That's my guess. But keep in mind, like I'm paying like essentially 1k Pokeyen per level for like free like time saved, right? Because I couldn't XP train. You know, I'm XP training essentially more Pokemon than the max, which is really cool. So it's essentially not free levels you're paying for whatever, but like extra levels gained essentially. All right, here it is. Moment of truth. I put both. Oh, they both threw by 10? That is way more than I expected. So that's like 85, right? Wow. That is way more than I expected. That's pretty sick. That would have cost way more in XP candies / rare candies to get to. That's actually this is good. I'm gonna leave these in here. I super underutilize putting Pokemon in the daycare. It's really good. You should probably always have like all your daycares in each region full of Pokemon to passively level. It's really, really good. Doesn't matter which daycare you put them in, you'll only gain XP on the Pokemon like in the region you gain XP. So if you're XP training in Johto, putting your Pokemon in Kanto doesn't do anything. You have to have them in the Johto daycare. So that's important. 2 2012 Pokemon with the same stats. I've never seen them before. It's Farfetch'd. So what those Farfetch'd are on the GTL, those are a relic of PokeMMO history. I searched FSR. These Farfetch'd, right? So let's do Farfetch'd. Let's do 2012, right? These Farfetch'd have the same exact... You might look at these and be like, what the hell is going on? These Farfetch'd have the same exact IVs. Let's see if they have the same moveset. No, not quite. But they also have this same exact OT. How did one person catch the same Pokemon? That's not what happened. Same nickname. What happened is these are NPC trade Pokemon. So the way that NPC trade Pokemon used to work is they would be a static encounter. If you traded for trade Pokemon in Pokemon Fire Red, these are the Pokemon you would get. It would have a static IVs, same IVs across the board, randomly roll a nature, and then they would all have the OT Alyssa from the NPC that they traded it from, right? This does not have, they have the same nickname. It no longer works like this. Like now these Pokemon are 15 IVs across the board ever since like 2015, 2017, I think 2017, something like that. Now these Pokemon are 15 IVs across the board in neutral nature, but this is how gift Pokemon or like NPC Pokemon used to operate. And they used to be tradable, I think. Yeah, like these are tradable, obviously on the GTL. So these are like relics of Pokemon's history. It's very, very cool. That's why they have the same, and you only get one per account, and that was if you actually did the NPC trade, which was like what, trading a Spearow for a Farfetch'd, something like that. All right, fellas, we all know Safari Week is coming up, and we're all very excited for it. And you can, or I can, if you're in Team Mister, you can support Safari Week by sending over an event donation. I'm going to go ahead and send over, I'm going to do it, fellas. I'm going to send over 10 mil. I'm going to put 10 mil on the line. I love Safari Week. I love Team Mister. I love events like this. I've been generously gifted a lot of Pokeyen this year by stream and by viewers. And I like to give that back where possible. So we're going to send that over. Pog, excited for Safari. I can really only do this because like people were generous to me, so it's not even like my own money, you know, in a lot of ways. So that's like, you know, it's not that crazy. That's awesome. I'm really excited. Safari Week, I'm gonna be streaming essentially from, I think it's the 22nd is when it starts for Team Mister. The 22nd to like the 30th, I'm going to be streaming as much as possible those days and just Safari shunting. So check it out. There should be a lot of stream recaps. There might not be too much of other crazy content or other big guides or projects during that time. I'll also be focused on Safari shunting, but come see whether I lose a shiny or not in Safari Week. Pat, how to prep for Shiny Wars. If you or your team is doing a Shiny War, if you're going to be, yeah, dude, Shiny Wars, man, you can do a lot of stuff to prep. The easy stuff, prep fossils, make eggs, fill all of your box with as many eggs as possible if your team allows it. An underrated thing about Shiny Wars, for those that don't know, Shiny Wars are just like a week time period, usually where you hunt, everybody in a team hunts as many shinies as possible. You like get points based on, it's like fantasy sports, but for shinies, kind of. That's kind of, yeah, anyways. The underrated part of preparation for Shiny Wars is prepping up on energy drinks, caffeine, food in general. Have a lot of snackies, like have stuff nearby, have a schedule planned, or have like make yourself get up and stretch. Shiny hunting is pretty intense. If you're shunting for like 10 to 14 hours a day, it is extreme. You can do it healthily. I've actually probably been at the healthiest moments in my life during competitions. Get up every 2 hours at least, stretch, do you know, push-ups, crunches, like whatever, like curl ups, like get out of, do some stuff, get the blood flowing, and then eat, have good snackies, have good food prepped. You know, you can food prep. I've like made giant batches of like soups or rice and chicken or whatever, and like prepped before Shiny Wars. Like it can get really fucking intense and be very, very funny. I will say streams this week will probably be a little shorter than normal, because I'm going to be streaming from now, like straight through from now until the end of Safari Week. So like from now, the 18th, all the way to like the 28th or whatever, I'm probably just streaming straight through that. No weekends. So like so streams will probably be a little shorter today. And that's where I'm going to go ahead and call it today, guys. Kind of a short stream today. I apologize. Hopefully it was fun. Hopefully it was enjoyable. I'm going to go chill out for a bit and work on some other PokeMMO projects. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Like the stream if you did. Dislike if not. That's always okay. Subscribe to the channel for daily PokeMMO videos. Follow me on Twitch for streams Monday through Friday, and a lot of streams coming up, starting at 12 p.m. ET usually. Discord's down below if you're interested in that. And if you want to go above and beyond and support the content, if it's been helpful or you've enjoyed it enough, YouTube memberships, Twitch Primes, Twitch subs, and PayPal/Venmo donations do help out dramatically. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and good luck on your PokeMMO grinds. Hey, thanks so much for watching the entire video all the way to the end. I really appreciate that, and I hope it was a positive asset to your day. And I also want to quickly say extra thank you to everybody whose name is on this list and goes above and beyond and allows me to do what I do. Thank you very much. Have a good one.